listen to St. Vincent, Julian Casablancas, Cameron Obscura and Jay-Z for us. What was your favourite track out of those four?
I think definitely Julian Casablancas. I already knew that track, but I just love it, and I think it's kind of it's got the best elements of the Strokes with best elements of the electro pop stuff that's been happening this year, and it's just cool and he's hot. That's basically what I feel.
And your least favourite?
I think possibly Camera Obscura. I liked it. It's not so much, like I say, I'm a bit more sort of rock and roll or electro stuff, and it's quite retro, but I did like the production, and I can definitely see that being a good Sunday type record. So I didn't hate it, but it's probably the one I wouldn't put on out of the four.
So how did you find the whole experience?
Cool, yeah, really cool. It's actually really good being given tunes when you don't know what they are. It's quite a good challenge. I was hoping I could try and analyse the tracks without knowing the artist, and I mean some of them were recognisable, but yeah, it's been good fun. I'm going to have to go out and get some St. Vincent. You know, she's got my same name as me as well, so it's like I can represent the family name. And yeah, the Jay-Z one was cool. I'll be quite interested to hear more of his new stuff.
Cool. So why don't you tell us about My Time, My Timing? Just introduce yourself.
Okay. Well, my name's Anna, and I'm from My Time, My Timing, and we're a new band from New Cross in South East London. We'd all been in indie bands and stuff, and we wanted to do something that's a little bit more focused and a bit more to do with melody and rhythm, really. That was the motivation.
Yeah, so you talked about this harshness in your sound, that you wanted to strip everything back and just take it kind of to this limited level of kind of harshness and basic rhythms and sounds, and I think that really, really comes through. Is that a conscious thing in your songwriting?
Yeah, I mean it has been. Initially, it was very much we came at the songs from a different perspective, because we'd been an indie rock type band, and what we do is we start with the rhythm and then build it up from that. So it's like rhythm and melody, and then everything else shouldn't be integral to the song, it should just be an extra. It was quite a good discipline. I think we've maybe slightly relaxed that now.
It's really rare that people are that open about kind of their processes. People are usually like, songs just come together and they end up sounding like this. Yeah. It's just a really interesting thing that you guys talk about. Yeah,
I mean it's quite new for us as well, and we certainly, I know that thing from being in other bands where things do just seem to come together. And yeah, we just wanted to. It's not that we wanted to make it a clinical process or anything, but we wanted to just get to the essence of a good song. I think if you have a good song, it can work in many different formats, and we wanted to kind of make it almost quite stark in a way, so that it wasn't interrupted by any other detail. I think we had things like, we said no guitar solos or no drum solos, no drum fills, which is funny because when you're in other bands you don't think you do those things just because it's tradition. And again, I mean, I'm a big fan of like Led Zeppelin or something. I don't hate those things, but for what we were doing, we just wanted to try and make it quite pure, I guess.
So do you write songs with recording in mind or with performance?
That's a good question, actually. Originally recording, more recently we've had to think about the way we create it live as well, and you do have to think about both if you're going to be a touring band. But it is difficult to I mean, most bands find this, I think, to recreate your recorded sound live, or you make a decision, do you do that, or do you do something totally different live? And I think some bands choose one or the other. I think we're kind of still really interested in studio recording though, because we're all massive geeks and fans of that, and fans of production, and almost using the studio as a bit of an instrument as well. So that is really important. And I think live, what we've been doing is just trying to bring an energy to that, even if it's a bit less intricate or a bit less, even if it's not like the recording. So it's kind of both, really, to answer that question.
And what have you been up to this year?
We've had a really busy year, and it's been really exciting for us, really, actually, because we started out at the beginning of the year. We put out the first single, and called "This Is Not the Fire." We just put that out ourselves, and from the back of that, we've had loads of gigs. We've been to Paris, been all around the UK, and we've been working with Andy from Young Pony Club, and worked with quite a few interesting people along the way. So we kind of feel quite lucky, really, because it's what we all wanted, and it has been busy. The last few months particularly been really busy. We've just released the second single, which is called "I'm the Sound," and which is a bit of a bold statement and one we may live to regret, but we'll see. But it's been cool. We're just hopefully off to Europe in the new year, and I think there's always an element of fatigue, but at the same time, it's great when you actually, if you get asked a question like that and you look back on what you've done over the year, it does feel worthwhile, and I'm really pleased. I'm excited.
And plans for an album or next releases? What's that looking like?
Yeah, I mean, we're quite DIY, so we're not signed or anything. We're releasing things on quite sort of bit by bit basis. So we've just done an EP with Pure Groove, and I think we might try and do another EP at some point, because it's quite a nice way. If you're an unsigned band, the whole point of things like the internet and doing stuff on a DIY level is that you can be quite flexible and get things out quite quickly and not have to wait for schedules and all that sort of stuff. So we're doing that. We want to do an album, and we have a lot of material that we're working on at the moment, and it would be kind of cool to do an album next year, because I think 2010 is the year of the tiger or something in the Chinese New Year. So we really want to do an album next year, but it might be more like a couple more EPs, and maybe some of that would end up on an album, or maybe we just write something totally new. And there's loads of ideas coming through. We kind of almost got too much. So I think definitely more releases next year, and lots of touring and hopefully festivals and stuff. And then album maybe at the end.
So your DIY thing, is it a decision to not be signed to a label?
No, not really. It's kind of it's not a decision. I mean, it's great working with people who, if you work with the right people and you get the right kind of support for what you're doing, then that can be a label, or that can be a producer, or it can be anyone. But we decided at the beginning we weren't ever going to sit back and wait for someone to come and give us some kind of magic wand and make everything work. And I don't think nowadays for a new band you can't just expect things to be done for you. So the more input you have, then the more control and the more you get back from it ultimately. So if the right label came along and wanted to work with us, then we'd definitely be up for it. But we're not waiting around. We just want to get on with stuff, and we can produce stuff, we can record and put it out ourselves, we can do everything on the internet, and we're kind of impatient, so I'm not waiting.